Hi y'all, I'm Tyler from Funtown RV, and today we're going to be going over the Delaware east to west. Right here, if you look down at this bumper, we have our sewer hose holder. Now don't be alarmed with that water, it holds water sometimes, but stick your sewer hose in there or whatever you want to call it, and then after that, slap her shut. What's next we're going to be going over is our LP Quick Connect. Now if you really wanted to, you could get yourself an RV grill, set it up, and then you can buy them with a hose, hook it up right there, and instead of having to bring your own propane tank, you can actually hook it up here and run off the unit. Now, next thing we're going to be talking about is our stabilizer jacks. Very important, because if you have it up, this trailer's going to bounce around a lot. You put these down, and you take just a little bit of weight up. Have a little bit of weight so they're not bouncing on the ground. Now, we got a vent right here, just vents out any excess fumes from the stove. This right here is going to be our little hose. So say you get your boots dirty, you want to spray them off, you can do that. And it works like a quick connect. You just press in, hose pops right out. Makes for easy storage. Right here, we're going to be talking about our awning. This thing's pretty cool because you can grab it and pull it in. Now, what that does is if a bunch of rainwater builds up on your awning, it'll collapse in on itself just a little bit like this and let all the rainwater spill out. That way your awning doesn't get too heavy and just break. You can also pull it in just a little bit to adjust the pitch. Now, you're asking me why should I adjust the pitch? Say the sun's hitting you right here, you can pull it down a little bit and it pulls this awning down. That way you can block out the sun. If it starts raining, you can adjust the pitch of the awning. That way, lets rainwater run off one side or off the other. You can do this on both sides of the awning, which is a really great feature. Now right here, you have your two marine grade Furrion speakers. Now you got one right here, one on the other side of the door. Right here is going to be your cable hookup. If you want to run an outside TV, you can. It's going to run off of your antenna. You can pull up the Cowboys game and watch it all day long. Right here is your plug, so you can hook up your TV, have power to it, or whatever else you want to run out here. Right down here are your low point drains. Let me see if I can find them real quick. There you are. So your low point drains, those are the lowest points in your entire camper. Now the only reason you should ever use those is if you're winterizing, but we're not going to go over winterizing. Then you have your solid steps. I'm 200 pounds, they can hold me. I think they can hold anything. And it's super easy storage. You just pick it up, grab this little handle, and let her go. Now, it does move around a little bit. You're asking, well, it can tear stuff up, right? Well, no, it can't. You shut your door, it's going to lock it in place. Now it's not going to move while you're traveling down the road, and you don't have to worry about, when you get to where you're going, your steps being all dirty if you're pulling them out. Really easy to set down and you're good to go. Right here on your door, you do have a door stop. Something else that you have, if you're wanting to use your screen door, you got a lock for it, for your main door. Pull it out. Now you have a functional screen door. When you're done using it, pull it back out, slide this plastic piece all the way over, lock her in. That way you can have access to your door handle again. Now, we already covered this on the other side. This does the exact same thing. Your stabilizer jacks, we've already covered those, but again, you're only going to pick up a slight amount of weight. Now, if you're thinking, I'm going to level my trailer with these, that's not how we're going to do this. We're going to level it with our tongue jack, and we're going to level it with our tires. Say you get to a spot and you back it in and your trailer's kind of cockeyed a little bit. What you're going to do is grab a 2x4, put it under there, back it up, the tires on top of it. There you go. Now, let's pretend we have the unfortunate case of where our stabilizer jack stopped working. What we're going to do is grab our little tool, come down right here, slide it in, and you can manually crank these up and crank them down. Now right here is your solar panel prep. Now, if you're asking, will it run my AC? Will it run all my high voltage appliances? It will not. What it will do is trickle charge your battery. So if you're storing it and you're not gonna have a power source nearby, you can hook it up and say, look at there, I'm going green. Now right here, you have your propane tank cover. These are really awesome. Now, with these, you're always gonna leave the door where it opens up this way. You turn it around and you drive down the road, guess what? The first trip, you get to your campsite, your door's gonna be gone, so you always leave it like this. Underneath, you have your propane tanks. You have two 20-pounders. Now, for some people that haven't changed propane tanks, what you're gonna do if you ever change them, pull off your pigtail, undo this, and this whole system will come off. Put your propane tank back on, slide it in, you have little notches right there. After that, put your pigtail on, screw in, and there you go. Now you're ready to use your propane. Now, say it's dark and you're changing those propane tanks. You do have a light so you can see what you're doing at night. And you're probably thinking, well, what if I want to hook up my trailer and leave at night? Well, we got you covered. Now, this brings me to another thing as well. Say your jack just decides, I'm not working today. You're gonna grab your little tool and you could crank it up or crank it down. Just like with a standard tongue jack. And then we'll just leave that open. Right here, you have your 7-way. This is what's gonna go inside the vehicle to hook it up. But we're not gonna go too in depth in that. All right, right here is what we like to call a wet bay. You have plugs. If you ever need to plug something up, right here's a battery disconnect, a city water connection, and you remember that blue hose? Well, she's gonna hook up right there. That way you can wash off like any water hoses that you get dragged across the ground, you can wash them off before you stick them up in there. Now you're saying, I'm gonna hook up my water hose, but I'm not gonna be able to shut my door. Well, you actually can. You have a little spot right here, and it comes up all the way through, and you plug it in. This is where 90 comes in to help. So you stick in a hose and you're gonna bend it. Well, eventually it's gonna kink and then you're not gonna have water supply to your camper. What a 90 does, you hook it up right there and you hook your hose. That way your hose isn't gonna kink over time. Moving on to this. This is a battery disconnect. Say we're gonna be parking this thing. It depends on how long you wanna park it. I turn it off every time I would. What this is it kills all the battery power to the camper. So now that I've turned it off, we're not running off the battery. If we have it parked and say we accidentally leave a light on, guess what? You're not gonna have a problem coming out here and your battery being dead. Very important. And right here, you do have cable and satellite options. Some parks offer cable, and if you want to get satellite, you can. You can hook it up right there and you're ready to go. Moving on from this, you have your freshwater tank. Now, when you're gonna go traveling with freshwater and you're wanting to haul it with you, haul it with a third full and no more, because it puts a lot of stress on the camper, puts a lot of stress on the truck. You don't want to damage anything the first time you use your camper. So, fill it up to a third, get to where you're going, fill it up, and then you're ready to camp. Right here, this is gonna be your weeping valve. I call it a weeping valve because what it does is once your fresh tank gets full, it's gonna weep out right there. Now say I'm done camping, but I have a full fresh tank. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. How do I get rid of it? Well, you do have a fresh tank valve under here. Give me a second, I can probably find it. There it is. Right here you have your fresh tank valve and it's already open, so our fresh tank's empty and we're ready to leave. Right down right here, you do have your furnace. This is gonna be the exhaust. It's gonna bring in fresh air right here, bring out the exhaust from the propane right there. Now, I do recommend for new campers getting bug screens because I know here in Texas, it gets really bad. dirt daubers, red wasps, small birds. I mean, you name it, it can get in there. So put a bug screen. What it is a metal mesh that goes over here, keeps all those bad stuff from getting in there, and when you go to use your furnace, it's gonna work. Unlike if you don't have a screen over it, not gonna work. Same thing with your water heater. Dirt daubers and red wasps can still get past these. I recommend putting a mesh screen over it. And then right here, this is gonna be your electric side. So turn it on to run your electric water heater, turn it off, and you're not running your electric water heater. This is a gas and electric. Your gas switch is on the inside of the camper on the monitor panel. Now, you do have an anode rod. What an anode rod does is, you know, all that calcium buildup, all that rust that will try to build up on that water heater is going to build up on that rod. Now, check it every 6 months, because if you don't check it, that rod's eventually going to break down and it's not going to be able to do its job. Check it every 6 months. If it looks like it's been eroded down, go ahead and replace it. I would actually carry extras with me. Get to the campsite and you're like, well, I haven't checked it. Check it and you have an extra one on you. Now, you do have a pressure release valve, pops off at 210 degrees or 150 PSI. All water heaters come basic with this feature. Now, with this guy, you can manually release pressure. Right here is a black tank flush. We'll go over this a little bit later, but just to know where it is. All right, right here, this is actually where all the dirty business is gonna happen. So looking at this, I can judge I have one gray tank, one black tank. Now, our gray tank is gonna be the gray handle, which is really nice that they labeled it for us. Our black tank is gonna be our black handle back here. Now let's pretend that we have our sewer hookup, we're ready to dump our tanks. What we're gonna do is come over here, open up our black tank, and you remember our black tank flush right here? We're gonna hook up a water hose to there. We're not gonna use our drinking water hose because that's not fun. Hook it up right here, turn it on, and we're gonna run it. And what it does is it has jets inside that black tank that's gonna help clean it out. Run it for about 10-15 minutes. All you gotta do is just set a timer on your phone. Then, after you get done, after your timer goes off, come out here, turn off the water, unhook the hose so you know water isn't going inside your black tank. Come over here, shut your black tank, open your gray tank. Once your gray tank gets done dumping, guess what? You're done dumping sewers. Now, if you're at a campsite and you do have full sewer hookup, do not leave your tanks open. It can mess them up. Always leave your tanks closed. And when you're done, or if it needs to be dumped, just come out here, do the procedure. Trust me, it's better to do this than it is paying money to get it fixed. All right, we're gonna go past this guy. All right, right here, if you can look, there's galley tank. Now, with this guy, all this does is, that is your kitchen sink. Your kitchen sink goes into one tank and one tank only, that's it. Now, you're gonna run this like you would your gray tank. Just hook up a sewer hose to it, open it up, let it drain, and then after you're done, go ahead and close it off. This right here, 50 amp power cord, comes standard with this trailer. Now, when you plug it in, you're gonna have to plug it in and turn it. Now, I would screw it in. I would do everything to make sure that this won't fall out, because it's not fun waking up when it's summer and you're sweating. So here's the other side of your bumper. Now, you can put your sewer hose in on this side as well. Really doesn't matter each side. I like this side just because it's closer to my dump sites. Once you get done, stick your sewer hose back in there and slap her closed. This right here is spare tire. Really nothing special to say about it. I would like to get a tire cover, put it over, because the sun and the rubber do not mix well. Right here is a backup camera prep for Furrion. Now, You can buy it, it comes in a package, install it, and it comes with a little screen that you put up inside your truck, haul it, and you can back up without, you can see behind your trailer. All right, we're gonna go on inside. All right, now that we made it inside, we're gonna go to the big control panel right here. We have our battery, our fresh, our black, gray one, and gray 2. Now, gray 1 is gonna be like our shower, our bathroom sink. Gray 2 is gonna be our kitchen sink. And black is gonna be strictly toilet. So, if you're asking about our third, you can look right here, and once this little light lights up, you have a third full for your fresh tank, you're done. Now, you do have 2 light switches here. You have your internal lights and your awning lights. And you have your water heater. Now remember, this is going to be your gas water heater and your water pump. Now say you go out dry camping or boondocking or whatever you want to call it without a water source constantly hooked up to your camper, this is what you're going to be using. Now you're going to want to keep an eye on your fresh tank, because once it gets to empty, and say we leave our water pump running, it's going to run and run and run and burn itself up. Now, right here we have our slide in and slide out button for our dinette slide. All you're going to have to do is go until you hear the clicks. Coming in, it's going to be the same way. Go until you hear clicks and you're done. For our awning, you bring your awning in and you can bring your awning out. Now be careful, because your awning out, you keep holding down that button, it's not going to stop automatically. It's going to keep going and reel back up on itself. So once you see the metal tube all the way across, that's when you're going to let off the button. Right here is going to be your thermostat. Now, it's really simple. All you have to do is find your mode. Just barely tap it. This is a sensor. Barely tap it until you get to cool. Then you can change the temperature. Same thing with heat. Hit it one more time and you can change temperature, do whatever you want. Now we're going to head on this way. Right here you do have your recliners. Now if you're wondering how they're going to keep still if they're sliding around everywhere, guess what? They're not. You have little clips right here strapping down your chairs. Now, don't go super tight, just keep them snug. Right here, we have our carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. Really super simple. They say test this every week, which is all right with me. What you're going to do is come down here, hit this little switch. It's going to beep once at us. Just like that, you're good to go. You also have your drawers. Inside every camper, going to be one of these packets. Now it's going to have all your information, all your owner's manuals, everything like that. Keep that handy and don't lose it, because I refer back to this thing almost every day. Now, coming over here, we have our kitchen sink. Nothing really special about it. You do have a head that can move around, and you do have a sprayer function and just a regular sink function. Right here is our stovetop. This is where the magic happens. When you get ready to cook, you're going to turn it to high and click your igniter. Now, when you click the igniter, you're always going to turn it this way. You turn it the other way, you do risk a chance of breaking the handle. So, and then after you get done cooking, don't immediately put your glass down. You put your glass down, it's really hot, it could crack the glass. Let it cool off, and then afterwards, you can bring it down and get it ready for travel. Your microwave is going to work like a microwave at the house. It's a 900 watt microwave. It's good for cooking popcorn, veggies, whatever you want to do. Right here is going to be your fridge and your freezer. Now, super easy. It's super simple. It's a 12 volt Everchill unit, Magic Chef. Now, when you get ready to travel, it's super simple and you're done. Right here you have some more storage, so you can put spices or anything else you want to. Right down here is going to be your breaker box and your fuse panel. They're all labeled, and if your fuse goes out, all you have to do, pull out the fuse and put in another one. I would carry extras on me every time I go camping. And your breakers, as far as they go, if it trips, just reset it and make sure you're not pulling as much power. Right here is going to be our dinette. Now, I'm 6 foot. I got a lot of room. Now, another thing, this thing can turn into a bed. So when you're ready to turn this thing into a bed, a couple of things you're going to want to do. Pull these up out of the way. That way you don't run a risk of tearing them. And then next, you're going to come over here, grab this, and pull. Now, you can have a buddy hold this, or you can have a family member. What I'm going to do is just lean it up against the counter. Next thing you do is come over here and just pull these out. It makes it a lot easier if you twist it and pull at the same time. That way it doesn't get stuck. Set those to the side down there. Grab your table. And you're going to slide it in right here. Just like that. Bring your cushions back down. And just like that, you got a bed for friends, or if any company comes stay over, you got it. This guy right here doubles as a couch and a bed. So you're not going to run short of any places to sleep. Now, these either come in futons or they come as trifold beds. This right here is going to be a futon. It's going to work like a futon that you can buy at IKEA. All you got to do is grab it and pull it out. Now when you're done, grab it, grab the top, put it back like it was. And then you can put your armrest back. Right here, you have your Freon TV. Nothing special about that. It's going to work like a TV pulling off the antenna at the house. Though on this one, you can pull it out and do whatever you want with it. When you're done with it, just put it back. Your radio. Something important about your radio. You have two zones. You have your inside speakers and your outside speakers, which are going to be labeled as Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 1 is going to be inside speakers. Zone 2 is going to be outside. You can do it any sort of way. You can have the outside speakers playing or the inside or both at the same time. Really doesn't matter. Right here brings me to our fireplace. Now this thing doubles as an electronic heater. It can be a look pretty. You can walk by and it's just ambiance. Or you can have it as a heater. It works both ways. Now we're going to move on into the bathroom. Now in here, you do have your GFCI plug. It's a ground fault indicator. All it really matters is that it's a safety feature. Now if it does trip, just come in here, hit the reset button. Right up here, you have a fan. That way, you can just get out any smell, any unpleasant smell, that is. Right here, you have your shower and your skylight. And you have storage area, as well as a medicine cabinet. All right, now that we're done in here, we're gonna go on into the bedroom. All right. Over in here, I'm going to start off right here. This is an emergency window. Let me get over here so y'all can see. What's great about these is, say something happens and you can't get out the front door, you can come over here, grab this, and pull down and push it out. Now if it hasn't been open in a while, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but if you push it out regularly, it's not going to be hard at all. Now, after we do that, we're going to grab this and we're going to pull on it. Rip it out, and this window flexes all the way up so you can jump out. Now, on nice days, you can push it out and let the air come in. And you can push yourself up a little fan. Right here is going to be your furnace return. It's going to pull in air, make it warm, push it back out just like the furnace at the house. And right here, you do have wardrobe storage, so it's not limited to right here and on the other side. You do have more right here. Speaking of storage, you got a little bit more under the bed. But other than that, you can put whatever you want down here. It does have hydraulic shock, so I can let go and it'll stay up. Right down right here, you do have some more storage as well. Drawer. Now, something cool about this trailer, you have dual USB plugs on either or side. That way you can charge your phone, and you do have a small place to set it as well. You also have plugs, so if you have something else you need to charge that doesn't take a USB cord, you can plug it in and use it, as well as on the other side. Then right here, you can put yourself a secondary TV, and you do have the hookups for it right here. Now, a lot of people say that you'll look at the sticker and it says TV backer right here. You don't have to put your TV backer all the way up there because you wouldn't be even able to put a TV. Come down right here. About right here is where you're going to want to put your TV. Other than that, that's about it.